Brian, small business owners here in downtown Renton say they already started noting a lot less foot traffic in this area when Boeing first announced it was going to ground the 737 months ago. Nowadays, they're just trying to survive the lack of customers and business during this coronavirus pandemic. They say if those layoffs continue and they're going to lose even more Boeing customers, they're worried about their business surviving even that, especially since so many of those Boeing employees work and spend a lot of their time and money in this area.
We definitely seen a decline.
Small business owner Nick Hill has owned his antique store in downtown Renton for the last 7 years. In the midst of the coronavirus outbreak, stores like his are struggling. And he says matters could get worse now that Boeing has announced 10% cuts company-wide, impacting thousands of employees.
Basically a double whammy. I mean, this is, for downtown Renton, this is probably the worst economic situation we've ever faced in our 100-year history.
Hill says his antique store is not open because it's not an essential business, but his cider company is. He says thankfully the cider and curbside service is helping him keep the lights on during these tough times, relying on foot traffic. Many of them are Boeing employees on break.
Otherwise, we just don't have the revenue to pay our bills, and we would have closed our business if it wasn't for the cider.
You can see the Renton Boeing plant from the showroom of the Mathewson's Automotive. The owner says they noticed a change in business when Boeing grounded the 737 months ago.
A lot of our customers are based at the Renton plant just across the street. So we started seeing a decline. People were not coming into work. Maybe they were laid off or furloughed. It just started kind of rapidly happening, a little bit.
Little by little, the shop has maintained some of its business during the pandemic. But owner Josh Coleman says they've lost 30% in customer volume for April and are planning for numbers to get worse as more of their customers could be laid off from Boeing.
Financially, we have to make those strides. We're going to have to make shortcuts. We're going to have to work as a crew to make sure that spending is done right and rightfully.
Making things right again is the ultimate goal for this community. Until then, they're weathering the storm of the outbreak and its impacts.
I'm totally confident that we'll get through this, but it's going to take the help of the community and everybody working together to just get through this.
And we just received word from the mayor of Renton. He says despite these layoffs, he is optimistic that Boeing is expecting to resume production of the 737 MAX later this year and into next year. In a statement, he says, in part, I have been working with our state and federal leaders to look for our resources that can help those impacted by COVID-19. These are difficult times, and we will continue to work with Boeing, our local businesses, and residents to mitigate the impacts of COVID-19 and get back on the road to recovery. And I'm sure so many people who own businesses and live and work in this community are sharing those same sentiments tonight. Reporting live in downtown Renton, Frankie Thompson.